even as volumes flood into those spot Ethereum ETFs, you have actually seen Ethereum down for 3 straight days and down today 1% at least, even as those Ethereum launches are drawing in money. Here to discuss it more is 21Shares co-founder and CEO Hany Rashwan, whose Ether ETF ticker is CETH. And Hany, when you look at the price action here, has it been priced in?
So thank you for having me. It's good to be back. It has been priced in a bit, but the other aspect of it is when we compare it to Bitcoin, which launched at the right time, in the right place, with everything going in its way, it's a little bit different. It's the summer. There have been some global macro events that have impacted it here or there, but we still are quite bullish over the next 6 to 12 months on crypto overall and Ethereum in particular.
Hany, I'm wondering who these ETFs are for. Who do you have in mind buying these?
So globally, we're the largest issuer of crypto ETFs. We have 50 of these things around the world. And what we often find are a mixture of retail investors who may not be comfortable setting up their own wallets and handling that infrastructure, and a lot of institutional investors. Less so on the insurance and pension funds. They're not quite there yet, but we believe with time they will be. And more on the family offices, independent asset managers, and the like.
But they seem like those folks are sophisticated enough to set up their own wallets and go directly to actually buy the token.
So it depends on the fund, but a lot of funds have mandates that may preclude them from investing in non-securities. They may want to have the regulated umbrella with the comfort, with the custody, with all of that.
You know, you think about that to the point that Tim is making, why buy an Ethereum ETF? You can kind of see with Bitcoin how much more there was that push into the attempted push, at least, into the FA market. Does that same push apply to Ethereum? And is it as simple when a lot of people don't know what Ethereum is even used for? Let's be honest.
No, absolutely. So the way we think about it is Bitcoin is digital gold. It is an insurance against bad fiscal and monetary policies, and it makes sense in a lot of parts of the world, and even in America. Ethereum is actually using the blockchain. Ethereum is the actual applications that move money, that can transform our financial system, are built on smart contracts. Ethereum is the biggest single platform of that. The single biggest use case of crypto today is stablecoins, by far. Visa settled $10 trillion last year. Stablecoins settled $9.3 trillion. And you'll see that happening on platforms like Ethereum, like Solana, and the others.
No staking rewards in the ETFs.
Yet, so far.
Okay, yeah.
So we've seen this around the globe. I think sometimes regulators need a little bit additional comfort. And we've launched before with no staking, and we have no issues whatsoever with taking our time and upgrading the product later.
But you do see staking happen it's a moment of when, not if?
Of course. We have a dozen or so stakeable ETPs around the world, and our ambition is to add staking as soon as possible. And it's an educational aspect with the regulator. Will take some time, but that's the plan and that's our ambition.
But what gives you confidence that you can convince the SEC to get comfortable with that?
We've been working on getting Ethereum listed for 6 or 7 years, and we finally convinced our regulators here. And so I think there's hope in the same way that Bitcoin took a minute to list, but at the end we got there. We've seen this around the globe as well with other regulators. Some regulators have gotten more comfortable with first listing sun staking without staking and then adding staking later.
Politics front and center this week, and front and center until the election, and I imagine after the election as well. How do you see a potential return of Donald Trump to the White House, or potentially Kamala Harris becoming president? How do you see digital assets being treated differently under those two?
So I think on a day-to-day basis, the regulators don't change that much. The staff that is doing the actual work doesn't change that much, and a lot of it is iterative updates. But what I'm most excited about with the election is the fact that crypto is now mainstream conversation. It's part of the agenda. And it's very clear that a majority of Americans care about this subject, and we're getting important attention there.
Who would be better for crypto, though, Trump or Harris?
I think based on what we've seen in Congress on bipartisan bills for stablecoins and other applications, I could see very positive aspects either way. Crypto makes sense for America, and crypto is here to stay, and we would work with whoever.